Alrighty, my friends. You know the grind is feeling grindy when you think, maybe I should play some FTL to break up the grind. Let's see here. It's a tier 2 map. So we need, let's see. It's here. Alright, so we need, to juice some level 3 maps. This waystone drop chance. Okay, I want to juice. Come on, there we go. They have extra stun buildup. Well, that sucks, but at least there's more drop chance. All right, now I was going towards breach. Let's give a breach a chance. Let's see if we get some drops in breach here. Plays FTL to break up the grind. What a morbid thought. I know, right? Alright, here we go. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh. Mobs are not loading. Give it a second. They're popping in next to me out of invisibility mode. Oh, he's gonna throw explosives at me. Guess they're finally tired of my grenades. Can those guys not move from up there? Alright, get wrecked. I think they were stuck on something there. Nice. Get exploited, bros. Oh my god, these freaking knockback, stun, charge, pin. Make sure we give all the enemies all the CC. What player wants to have control over their own character? Nobody, really. We all want to just be knocked around with no control over our player. It's great, fun, interesting gameplay. Didn't you say there are more classes in this? What's the difference? Guess I don't like their playstyle. There are currently 6 different classes. I definitely don't like the warrior, whose main playstyle is a slow melee build. That is like asking to get killed by every mob in the game. You'll never finish your freaking melee swing. Ranger's really OP. Monk has some really strong builds. The build that I've been playing off stream the last day or two is a witch build using bone spells with some minions. You know, I like bleed, so I'm trying a physical bleed spell couple of abilities. If I get tired of this grind, I might swap over to that witch character I've been playing. Sorceress is supposed to be really strong too. And I have a sorceress, and she's pretty fun, but the build I was playing felt kind of low damage, so I swapped to the witch. But really, the class I want to play the most is a trap build that won't be available probably until they add the shadow or assassin, whatever it's called, which will add daggers to the game. That's what I'm really looking forward to. That's the gameplay style I'm hoping to enjoy the most, is assassin build with traps. I'm hoping that will be a thing. That's just not in the game yet, because, you know, we only have half the classes in the game that will be out in full release. Getting stunned again. Maybe try witch summoners are fun. Yeah, that's the build that I'm playing. I have around a level 10 or 11 witch right now, so I usually don't like a summoner pet playstyle, but I'm kind of playing the witch as a bone caster with kind of minions as a side build to tank for me. So that is probably what I'll play next if I continue wanting to stream and don't want to play this character. Grinding the maps. Oh my god, am I dead to non-stop stuns? Jesus Christ. What was that, like 6 stuns in a row by a bunch of rolling, stupid effing antlions just wall banging me? Oh, Jesus. Hate this mechanic. There's a mechanic in Path of Exile 1 called phasing, where you can walk through enemies. I want phasing. I think that might be the best defense in the game if they ever add it. Let me phase through enemies for the love of God, because I hate this knockback stun bullshit. You want phasing and travel skills. Well, I'd settle for just phasing, so I'm not constant knocked back by these freaking mobs that all seem to have it in mapping. One of my favorite builds. The few times I got a character up to like level 70 or 80 in PoE 1 was Shadow, what's the guy who does traps? I think he's called Tinker. I think there's something called Tinker Skin. I think is a piece of gear that I think just gives you phasing. And every time a trap detonates, it gives you energy shield. So you'd spam throwing traps on the ground, you'd get energy shield, and you could walk through enemies. Tinker, I think it's called Tinker Skin. I think it's one of my favorite pieces of gear in PoE 1. What was the trap Shadow Ascendancy? Was it called Trickster? Something else. Maybe it was Trickster. Ugh. No, more of these. Or no, he's called Saboteur, I think is actually what he was called. Trickster was like the crit guy. Saboteur was the ascendancy for extra trap explosions, or trap detonation and stuff. What the hell's this purple stuff? Oh, that must mean we're getting close to the breach. Must mean we're about to go into the breach. Zing. Ba-doop, ba-doop. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Alright, I don't want to do that until I've completed the map so I don't die and lose my quest credit that we need to get. Alright. Let's walk by it. If I remember where it is on the map. Oh, set it off early here. Let's see, where on the map is it? Down left over here, okay. Alright, so still gotta explore a couple places because apparently oh, there's my last boss up there, okay. Last rare. I honestly wonder if there will be a weapon swap build I can do with daggers and crossbows where I can do traps and grenades. Because that would be my, like, that would be my ideal. I get the fun explosion of grenades of this character, plus some traps that can slow and, you know, reset my battlefield with traps to kill enemies before they spawn for like ritual and stuff. I'd say the main downside of Grenadier after playing it for a long time now is the cooldowns. The number of cooldowns What's weird to me is caster builds, at least while leveling, never seem to use any mana. The witch build I'm using uses these 2 bone skills. I spam the abilities and her mana never moves. This guy is using grenade skills, and I'm running out of mana constantly. I don't quite understand the balance of mana usage for this character's abilities, especially compared to casters who you'd think use a lot of mana, but at low levels seem to use like no mana. So I don't know, it's weird. Also, casters don't have finite cooldowns. Like, you can just keep spamming your ability over and over that costs no mana, and a caster seems to have no downside to spamming abilities. Well, if I'm getting overwhelmed, I can't just keep casting stuff because I'll run out of grenades really quickly. So, the cooldowns on the grenades are... I feel like it's making my grenades less long-term sustainable in a lot of situations. Alright, map complete. Let's do it. Here we go. And let me pause because a lot of times stuff doesn't appear at first because of the bugs. Okay. Oh my god, I can't move. Body blocking to death has been what's been killing me every single effing time today. Body blocking into a wall to death just keeps happening. Oh, I'm just stun locked to death. Literally stun locked to death. Oh man, I think I'm done with this character. It doesn't matter what endgame activity I try, I get stun locked to death. Feels so bad, man. And I thought my defenses were good. Well, so much for using my whatchamacallit, magic find. Alright, I think I'm gonna swap characters for the rest of the stream. I am not feeling like I'm having a lot of fun with the mapping right now. So let's throw all our stuff in here. And I'll show you the witch that I've been playing, everybody. She's only like level 10. Or level 13, actually. I guess I got more levels than I thought yesterday. So, well, we'll chill with some low-level gameplay here. The mapping ponage has, and it's weird. It was feeling so good when we were at, like, tier 1, 2, 3. We had our max resistances. We weren't getting loot. Then we get up to tier 5, 6, 7. Have a little more trouble. Die in tier 9. Die tier 7. And now I can't even survive tier 3. You'd like to see what other characters look like? Well, this character, I barely have any abilities on the bar right now. That's because, so this is a witch character, and so I have, so the way that summoning or minions work in this game is you have an extra resource called Spirit. So this scepter here Gives 132 spirit, and just grants you a skill that automatically summons 2 skeletal warriors. But I also am using skeletal arsonists, which are bomb throwing, reviving skeletons. So they're like a range damage dealer DPS summon, while I have these skeletal warriors as my tank. And then I'm going around using Bone Cage, which is an AoE physical spell damage ability to damage things. And this also does physical damage, but this Unearth, when you have corpses of enemies and you use Unearth through the corpses, it will summon these little, what do they call them? Spikes of bone. They're little constructs that are extra summons. So I have a bit of physical damage with summons on this build, so let's go chill out with some low-level gameplay that doesn't pwn my face over and over. Tier 9 is fairly high on the table. You're not supposed to blast them with just 3 links. Okay, sure. Pretty sure certain builds can just blast them with 3 links is my guess. Pretty sure Ice Monk can, and the Storm Reaver Spark spamming Sork probably can, but I haven't played those builds high level, so maybe I'm wrong. I've just seen them pwning on other content creators.
You're not going anywhere.
There we go. Yes, my minions. Fight for me, my minions. So now Grim Feast makes these things appear, and they give me energy shield, I think. That's what Grim Feast Spirit Gem does. I just need to invent a build OP enough to do that. I do. That's what I'm trying to do. My plan on this build is go up to the bleed nodes. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with bleed. My plan for this build, there's a dagger, a bone dagger that adds 20% chance to bleed to all attacks, I think, or to all hits. I got chance to bleed here, and I've got chance to bleed over here, and I think there's even an ability that has an innate chance to bleed on the bone shiv dagger thing. So I'm not giving up on bleed yet. I should probably give up on bleed because it's probably just too weak right now, but I really want to not play the meta builds that everybody's playing and find something that's actually good. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to invent an OP build. I'm attempting to do that. Like I'm sure everybody else is trying to do. I'm not sure if a lot of people have mained these bone skills, but I thought these bone physical skills with bleed stacking could potentially be good. Hopefully better bleed than the grenades that I was kind of trying to force to get bleed going.
The girls loot. But dear me, what a desperately boring home.
This witch girl is really rude. The stuff she says. Wow. Wow, just call her home trash tier, why don't you? So, here's my summoner, my witch summoner. I'm not sure what the strongest summons are. I think they might be these skeletal arsonists. But there are some like ice mages that might be really good later too. Yeah, what I like about this AoE bone thing is, as well as having a really high base physical damage to the spell, it causes pin buildup, and pin is basically a root mechanic. So, raise a ring of bone around you, spikes are destroyed when enemies touch them, and damages and pins those enemies. As base damage is 20 to 30. This unearth is 10 to 15. So it's like double the damage of this unearth. It feels like, I think it's a really high base damage thing. And so the other summons, Skeletal Frost Mage, Skeletal Reaver. I think those are some kind of like dual wielding berserker skeletons. And we have a Skeletal Storm Mage, Skeletal Brute, like a two-handed dude, and then you got a Skeletal Cleric. So you're gonna get a cleric that will heal your other minions. So there's some, you can go pretty full summon build. I don't know how good late game summon builds are because I haven't watched anybody who's done any of those, but I know summon builds are OP in PoE 1. Alright, pretty much done everything I need to do in this zone, so let's leave. Summon builds here are ones of the most BS. What are the good ones, Madman? What's the... Is it... I feel like what I have seen are Fire Mage summon builds.
In the darkest corner.
Is there a Fire Mage? Frost Mage. I wonder if there's a gear or something that can turn them into a fire thing, because I'm pretty sure I've seen a fire summon skeleton build. The meta is Fire Arsonist. Ah, okay. So it's just the Arsonist that I'm currently using. Ah, Hellhound and Raging Spirit. Okay, yeah. Well, my build, I'm planning on getting the other Ascendancy. I think it's called Blood Mage. Because my concept for this build is... actually, here, I'll show you. If I, yeah, I can't show it here. If I go to... max roll. And click on Blood Mage. So, if I want to go bleed... I think part of the reason my bleed explosions grenade guy is not doing great is because it feels like I don't have a way to scale the bleeds high enough. Blood Mage, the second ascendancy after Sanguimancy, if you go this way, is Blood Barbs. You gain 10% of damage as extra physical damage. Elemental damage contributes to bleeding magnitude. So, my thought is, one of the ways I've been hearing about mages scaling damage super crazy is getting Archmage, which spells gain 6% of damage as extra lightning damage for each 100 mana maximum mana you have. So you stack mana. The more mana you have, you get extra lightning damage. And make sure spells cost additional mana. So if I'm doing a bunch of extra lightning damage, I think getting super high lightning damage would mean that elemental damage will contribute to how strong my bleeds are. So if I'm using a physical spell that causes bleeds, and Archmage is contributing lightning damage to that, I think that would make the bleed magnitude scale. That's my initial theory of craft for the idea behind this build.
You're not going anywhere.
Scaling the bleed damage with lightning damage from Archmage. Now, I might need to look into how other Archmage builds build. But I'm hopeful I could actually get more damage out of the bleeds doing a build like this than trying to force bleed onto grenades when I can't get enough magnitude on it. Trying to use my PoE 2 bachelors and turn it into a PoE 2 masters. And sadly, I don't think we have enough experts in PoE 2 building here to tell me if that has any snowball's chance in hell to work, or if that's just another one of those, no, that won't scale very well or something. I feel like it might, but I don't know. Is there anything else I need to do in this zone? I think just kill the executioner. Let's go do it. Alright, time for a head choppy chop. Censored. Censored, you know. This is a kid's stream. We won't show decapitations here, because we're a kid's stream. Kid friendly around here. I probably should have stood back so my my arsonists didn't all get into direct. Ouch. Oh, I just... Okay, that's the first time I've actually sat under the guillotine. I heard the sound and I was like, what does that sound mean again? Well, I think that might actually be my first time I've tied to the executioner. That's pretty embarrassing. Okay. Oh, well. Oh, we have to watch him chop the head again? Okay.
My would-be executioner.
Alright, let's not get hit by the guillotine. There we go. Let's not stand in that this time. Very good. Dude, you killed all my arsonists. Rude. That's gonna kill them all. This is the issue I usually have with summon builds, is it feels like just all die to bosses. But I have low level summons that I haven't put any like true points into, so probably can't blame the skeletons for that. Get blasted. Alright, there we go. Much better. You know what's sad? The loot from killing that guy, way better than any loot I got from the last couple of maps I did. Maps, why you loot so bad? Why you loot so bad, maps? I feel like the game misleads you by having good loot on the bosses, and then you get to maps, and you don't get jack crap. It's maps are missing the dopamine, man. The dopamine of killing a boss and getting good loot. Maybe the maps that had bosses had actually good loot from the bosses. I don't remember, but
The manor must be near.
alright, so do I care about going back to complete the quest right now? Meh. Yeah, let's just go. Alright, so I'm working towards stuff right here. Increase physical damage, should increase bone cage. Nice. PoE 1 loot's mostly crap, but hey, at least it's there. So the question is, do you want to get no loot, or do you want to get a bunch of useless loot? Those are your choices. PoE 1, useless loot. PoE 2, zero loot. That's a tough choice right there. Nothing or feel like nothing. Would you like crap flavored food? Or food that's literally crap? I don't want either of that. Well, those are your choices. We don't have anything else to offer here. Can't I just have food that tastes like food? No, that's too much work. Can I have loot that actually has loot? That's useful loot? No, that would defeat the purpose of the game. If you got good loot that's useful, then no. Everybody just stop playing because they already got all the good loot. I don't know if it would work that way though. You like use this loot a lot more than no loot. Okay. Yeah, I guess I probably do too. As a person who enjoys looting in 7 Days to Die, I'd rather there be a bunch of loot and I only need a tiny bit of any of the stuff I find than there being nothing. It is me. Alright. Well, the nice thing is I can tweak this character all like crazy if I want to. I can get a tier 3 support on a 3-link right now if I wanted to make my main ability super strong, which I probably should. Figure out what supports I want. Although, most of the supports I'm going to want are going to be for bleed, and I don't really cause bleed yet because I need a bunch of, I need some levels and passive points before I'm actually bleeding with this ability. I might, you know what I might do is look up the rare dagger. I think it's a bone dagger that I want to use for this build. Let me see here. I have trade pulled up here. So it's a dagger. Is it a bone dagger? Is it a dagger? I don't know. I'm going to do dagger and I'm going to do unique and see if that anything appears. Incomplete. So there's, yeah, most of the daggers are things that haven't been put in the game yet. Maybe it's a wand. It might be, let's go any caster weapon you need. Do see if I can find the weapon. Sanguine Diviner Bone Wand. Yeah, this right here. So converted to life cost. 25% chance to inflict bleeding on hit. So here's like one of the major issues I was having on my Grenadier is I couldn't get enough bleed chance through the tree. This gives me spell damage. Gives me, I think this spell I might even have bleed chance on it. So Sanguine Diviner, clear. Sanguine Diviner, Bone Wand. So what's the lowest level you can get it? Oh, I could use it at level 0 apparently. So that's what I'm eventually gonna look to use. I think requires level 3. The higher level this Bone Blast ability on is. I don't know if that's what I'd rather use over the Bone Cage. Well, that's the other part of the build, or the weapon for the build that I'm hoping to get bleed stacked pretty early on in this build, and then I can just, once I get the bleed chance figured out, then I can just work on scaling the bleed. What's the word? Magnitude. If you're going for bleed again on Summoner, you'll need Corrosion to break armor. Yeah, I could just have a second. I was actually thinking that I have a secondary crossbow and put the same setup I was using. Oh my god, regen life. Remember that thing I said about not using any mana? I'm just spamming this ability and my mana is not moving. Kind of crazy, the difference between a caster build where you'd think they'd use mana and a crossbow that runs out of mana that you wouldn't think would need mana. Why does a crossbow and grenade firing use mana? Because video games, that's why. Mana might not be decreasing, but enemies also not in a rush to die either. True. My damage definitely nothing to write home about yet. It's also because my tree has mainly been stats so far. I've been skipping everything to get up to the physical damage and bleed nodes, which will hopefully get me a bunch of damage. I was thinking that what I'd want to stack would be crit and physical damage on this character. Because if I crit with the skill that causes bleeds, the bigger the bleed will be when it crits. Alright, so which way do I go? Chance to bleed? Yeah, let's go with chance to bleed to start. Make sure that we're getting chance to bleed. Yes, 5% so far. Okay, good. If I go ahead and just buy that item at some point I'll have 25% chance to bleed. How's progress going? Did I catch a bit of a cold? You're coming in at the end. I'm pretty sure I had either COVID or not pneumonia. I hope it wasn't pneumonia. I think I either had COVID or the flu over the weekend, and I've been in a really bad shape the last 5 days. I'm finally getting over it though, thankfully. So feeling better, but I was achy, I was coughing, I was sneezing. I'm still sneezing and coughing, but I was in bad shape over the weekend, so Thankfully, I'm better now. Almost to normal. Almost. It's again one of those things where you level with what you can reach and respect into what you want to play with later. Yeah. I hate playing that way, I'll be honest. It's one of my least favorite things about PoE 1 is if you want to play a build, you have to play not that build for like 70 levels. And I absolutely hate that playstyle or that game design. So I always play suboptimally if it means I'm playing the build I want to play. Like I was grenades the entire time on my mercenary. I didn't start with, you know, some other abilities. I don't like that design philosophy that is often in Path of Exile games. But my DPS will suck, true. But it'll suck doing what I love. Leading my enemies. I will be stubborn. Glad it's near the end of the sickness? Yeah, me too. It's been a while since I've been as sick as I got. Basically right after Christmas Eve, so... Anything I need to do in this zone? Got the gallows. Okay, good. I watched a very... the intro to a video talking about here's how to level any build or any class to the level that you can get to the build you actually want. And it's basically just play Ice Monk on any class until you get to the level where you can respect to what you actually want to play. And I don't like that. Just don't like If I want to play Ice Monk, I'll play Ice Monk. I'm not going to play Ice Monk over and over and then respect to what I actually want to play. Because that's optimal gameplay, and I want to play for fun. And hope that my fun playing will actually not be trashed here. Which might be too much to hope for and ask for. Wow, there's a lot of blood on the ground. Jesus, who is shooting me? Who the hell are you? Die. In that world, every server is full of Ice Monks and people doing the end game. Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole thing with Path of Exile is it's all about min-maxing. For the top 1%, it's min-maxed. When there's a new league, there's a whole thing around, this is the best league starter because it'll get you to endgame as fast as possible. And that's like what people do. They get to endgame as fast as possible so they can just start grinding. And like I was experiencing earlier, the map grind is often the least fun part of the game to me. But I want to enjoy the journey there and then hopefully get a build that actually is fun to grind with. But I often end up with a build that's just too weak and so stop once I get to the mapping grind. The point is to get to endgame as fast as possible because it'll provide finances for subsequent experimenting with other builds you're actually going to enjoy, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know that's how it's supposed to work. I don't like it, so I don't do it. Which means I don't play efficiently. I'm not min-maxing my PoE 2 playing. Just like you know what you don't like, I know what I don't like. And what I don't like is playing some forced meta, low-level, quick leveling build just to get to the mapping so I can make some currency so I can actually play what I want to play. I'll just play what I want to play and be slow and weak at it.
You can rest when you're dead. Keep digging!
Then I suffer from DPS deficiency, drop dead syndrome, and burning out, causing mob, because mobs refuse to die. True. True. So I have fun up to the point when my build is too weak. Maybe one of these days, I'll find a build that's actually fun to play, that scales. That is a low econ build that I don't need 5,000 exalts to be a viable build in the end game. Maybe that's a pipe dream, though. First you gotta do the time so you can do the crime. There are such builds already. Yeah, I know, I just told you what one of them is Ice Monk. Literally what the video I was just talking about. Just play Ice Monk until you... and I'm sure there's others. I don't know, I'm playing a kind of a summoner build. Aren't summoner builds supposed to be League starter, strong, OP, low econ budget builds? Yeah, I don't like to follow someone else's build. I really dislike it. To me, that's the whole... To me, that's the purpose of these games. Is coming up with my style of how do I want to play this game. And if the only way that I can play my style is to follow somebody else's style for 40 hours until I get good enough gear to play my style, then I'm not having fun. Because I'm spending 40 hours playing somebody else's build. And it's not why I play games. I don't play games to follow somebody else's cookie-cutter builds. I find that extremely boring. I actually created a very strong character off-stream using the Gemling Legionnaire and the Pillar of the Cage God, and I was tearing through everything. And after about a day, I was like, yeah, this build is super strong, and I'm so bored with it. So I stopped playing it and swapped to a different build. It's what I like. I like coming up with my own builds. Let's see. Stat stacking to reach remote nodes like you're doing isn't recommended, to put it mildly. Okay. Thanks for telling me how I'm playing the game wrong again, man. Appreciate it. Rand, you're playing the game wrong. Well, don't worry. I'll play it wrong until I get weak and quit. And then you can tell me you told me so. Remember that thing about PoE 2 where you're not supposed to be able to brick your build? I'm trying to count on that. I'm trying to count on you can actually play this game how you want and not have a build that's useless like PoE 1.
Yes, another one. He's under there.
And I don't care if I'm playing it suboptimally. You're not saying it's wrong. You're explaining why it's slow going, why my summoner isn't as effective as League starter people advertise. Great. Well, and I'll tell you why Scrap Recovery Arm is the worst augment in the game, but it doesn't stop people from buying it. People will do what people find fun. I'm doing what I find fun, trying to make my build the way I want it, so I'm not gonna let it bother me that I'm not playing the most efficient I possibly can. Why is rushing to the endgame meta? Is the mid-game boring? That's actually a great question, and that's like a debate that a lot of people talk about. I know Madman talks about, like, wanting to skip the campaign. And, like, that's the mindset of PoE 1 players that I don't... That's why I stopped playing PoE 1. Like, I played the campaign more than anything else because by the time I got to the end game, mapping is repetitive and boring. I actually enjoy going through the campaign because I feel like I'm progressing somewhere. I normally don't care about story, but having quests and zones to go through that's not just random maps that I'm killing random mobs in, and feeling like I'm progressing something feels better to me than spamming a map over and over. So, PoE 2 having the same endgame means I gotta hope that when they have all the endgame mechanics in that I find some variety that I enjoy. Otherwise, I'll have the same issue as I had in PoE 1 and I'll just get tired of mapping. Do 10 times try each character, it's boring. Do 40 times try each build, it's insufferable. Well, just agree to disagree. To me, the leveling process is part of the game. To me, that's like a... Fucking hell. That's like an old school versus new school gaming mentality. When you play an MMORPG, do you want to enjoy the leveling process, or do you want to get to the end game and raid as fast as possible? If you want to get to the end game and raid as fast as possible, then you're going to burn out in that game and quit playing as fast as possible. If actually playing the game and leveling is worth doing, and worth doing again for alts, and worth doing when you have a friend that joins, then the leveling process is not a waste of time. Now, you're going to say, once you do it the 5,000th time it is, well, then you must be tired of that game. And maybe you don't play it anymore. But I think the leveling process should be an important part of the game that is fun and have variety and have not make you feel like I just want to get through it as quickly as possible. But again, I get bored by PoE endgames, so... To you, leveling process is watching a commercial before you get to a movie. You have to watch it because TV doesn't have fast forward button. League mechanics, maps, bosses, build, come together, all that happens in endgame. Yeah, and I don't like that. I want the build to slowly come together during the campaign. That's what I want. And I think PoE 2 is leaning that direction, too. Because once I got to mapping, my build was almost done on my last character. Although it wasn't done in that I still had, you know, extra sockets I needed to unlock and stuff like that. But my abilities were all chosen. I was just leveling them up as I got better gems. My build was basically done by the time I got to mapping. I just needed to upgrade stuff as I was going up the tiers. And then I hit the wall and started dying over and over, so.
Yes, more.
Works with some builds. Some of them do come online slowly while doing acts. That's an exception rather than the norm, mostly due to level and stat requirements associated with certain skills. Yeah. Alright, was there something else I was supposed to do here? Yes, I'm supposed to fight Candlemus. Let's go find him. There he is. And that actually, what you just said is another one of my big issues with Path of Exile 1. You don't actually get to have fun playing your build until you're at mapping. So I have to play something I don't want to play to get through the campaign. And I don't like that philosophy. But it's what PoE 1 players are used to and I guess like. There's no way to fix that. It's part of progression. Again, I don't know that I agree with that. I feel like the way you fix that is you don't have to put all the best skills at the highest level. You can spread them out. You can have lead-up skills to the best skill that are like a light version of that skill. Have there be actual progression, not you have to do something else until you use the really good skill. Best skills are subjective. Well, then, what did you say? All stat requirements associated with certain skills.
Is my power to wield.
Yeah, I guess so. Explosive bolts unlock at level 37. You won't get it to your next done through 3 acts. If your build is considered an explosive bolts, you can't do anything. Yeah, and they kind of help with that, and like you have other ways to detonate other than just explosive bolts. But you're right. That's kind of the been the Path of Exile design philosophy for the longest time is what, very slow progression or something, and blocking a lot of the like build defining skills behind often very high levels or very high stat requirements, which I guess forces a sense of accomplishment when you get there, but it means that you don't get to play what you want for a very long time. Okay, where is Candlemoss? Candlemas. Did I not reach this area? Yeah, now I gotta go searching for this frickin' guy. Wonderful. You basically can't place bleed nodes, AoE nodes, all the elemental nodes, stun nodes, all within vicinity of your starting node. Right, you shouldn't.
Rest when you're dead. Keep digging.
Because you need something. You need a carrot on a stick. You need something to work towards. That's definitely the case. What's this? Level progression locks some builds from potency completely. Want to have lightning build? Thought chance lightning and electric nodes are 20 nodes away. Damn it! Where's Candlemas? Wait, is he in this room? No, he's the boss in the big giant open room. How did I miss him? I'm all confused. What part of the map I even am in anymore? He's here already. This isn't. I think he's here. Jesus Christ, that's freaking triple beam shooter dudes. Well, I'm not liking the Grim Feast defensive thing I have. Shogi had said he tried it and hated it. I'm feeling the same. Grim Feast seems kind of trash. You have to pick up stuff and then you get energy shield. Not a big fan. Alright, well, Okay, let's teleport back home. Let's turn in the quests. Let's take the waypoint back here because I feel like I can't find where this guy is supposed to be. Have to bide your time, hit up general nodes like attack speed, projectile damage, so on, until you stack enough points to respect on what you really want to do. And if you don't pick those nodes, but go slowly towards your intended build instead, tougher DPS. Playable becomes quite slow. Rim Beast is what they call me in college. Okay. Rim Beast. Well done, well done.
The village has been destroyed. You must.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For what it's worth, it isn't
Alright, what
worth.
do you give me? Tier 5 gem.
There is only enter. Thank you.
Okay.
I think I should.
There we go.
I guess now she'll start playing songs. Best get out of here soon.
My girl doesn't want to listen to her play her music. Rude. Rude. Oh, that's... wow. Strength, Dent, Life, Energy Shield, all elemental resist. That's pretty good. That is a pretty good little amulet I just found. I'll take it. I'll wear it. Alright, I was like,
It's not time to kill
did
them all.
Lady say that about Una playing music? No, my character just basically said, screw that, lady. I don't want to listen to your music. At Bone Storm, I use this ability on another character, and I don't like the channeling on it. Alright, Frost
Skeletal
Mage.
frost mages deal high cold damage, but have
Immense
low
Spirit Reservation. I think I'm gonna keep going with the Arsonist.
unearthed.
And Bone Cage. Upgrade there. Okay. Ooh. Alright. Is there a story in this game? Is it interesting in any way? It has lore, which can be actually quite interesting. Most people just play it to kill stuff and collect loot. Yeah, it's like most ARPGs. The lore is secondary. Although some people do love the lore. Alright, let's see what Bone Cage looks like with us hitting this important node. Currently, DPS of 181, lead chance 5%, I think. DPS 199, lead chance of 20%. Not bad. Alright. Alright. Ogum Manor. See if I can find this Candlemas, because I completely missed him. Mindless old fun. Yeah, most ARPGs are just about killing monsters. Killing monsters, getting loot. And one of the things that, since this game is in early access, is still trying to balance right is the loot. And it's one of the main things people complain about. Just ask Madman. Killing's pretty fun. Looting has some balancing work to be done. Especially when you're in late game. I was playing late game earlier, getting no loots. And this started dying and getting frustrated, so I went back to a lower level character. Where getting no loot is not as punishing, because I'm not fighting as difficult enemies, basically. It's only mindless if you want it to be. PoE 1 had quite interesting and epic lore. I don't know if I found PoE 1's lore all that epic, but I hate lore that's given in long paragraphs. And most PoE 1's lore is given through paragraphs you find throughout the levels. You click on a plaque and a long paragraph of somebody going, Toriani was once the greatest mages of all time, and because of his great veil mageness, he developed technology that unlocked the magic systems we know today. So it's like these really long walls of text, and that's the lore, at least the way it's presented. So it's not my favorite lore presentation style. Alright, so I'm moving towards this stuff now, which I guess I gotta go. I think it's best to go around here to get that quickly. Strength. Not only that, but also the ease with which you can miss entire pieces of it. Yeah, like if you don't find the plaque in a certain level, then you'll just not see the lore. Which for me, I don't really care that much, but if you want the lore, it's sometimes not super well presented and accessible. Candlemas has to be up here. Well, actually, it could be anywhere down here. Okay. Yeah, the lore is interesting, but presentation is meh. Yeah, it's a good way of saying it. Stay a while and listen. Now, I feel like there are a few things in PoE 2 where they present the lore in more interesting ways. Like, there's a boss fight with this huge abomination who uses fire, and as you walk into the room, he's banging on a door, yelling at his mother that she never loved him and all this stuff. Now, that's interesting. That's like the Elden Ring style of lore. It's like you walk into a boss room, and the room itself is telling you a story, or what the boss is doing or saying to another character makes you go, oh, I wonder what that relationship is like.
First ones, hear our laments.
But here, now we got a little plaque, and then we fight a dude, so I have no idea what the story is. Because it's a plaque, and I don't want to read it, or listen to somebody read to me. So... You know, I really should just get crossbow with poison bolts. I think I could do that now. Poison, not bolts, poison grenade with armor break on it. Really should have that already. Alright, get blasted, Candlemas. My own one of those. Alright, that can be fires. That gives me life. Okay, nice. Alright. Now we can go fight the boss. Which was way down over... Geez, somewhere over here, maybe? Was it this one? Was it this one? Yes, here it is. This checkpoint thing is kind of messed up because the maps are just all over the place. Checkpoint's a little buggy. Good visual storytelling is gold dust. True. The Witcher did it in a great way, but that's a whole different game. Yeah, I never got into The Witcher. I think I played Witcher 1 a bit, trying to get to Witcher 3, because everybody said that's like one of the best games ever, and I just never got through Witcher 1 or Witcher 2. I can't remember.
You're not going anywhere.
Witcher 3 is great, yeah. That's on a lot of people's like best game all-time lists, so.
No noose this time. I'll remove your head myself.
Not if I take yours first.
Ooh, nice. Good comeback.
Easy prey. Great Wolf, have you? You'll pay with your life.
Oh. Oh, he got pinned. Tried to run through my stuff. Nice. Yeah, look at that. Arcanist guy over there just shooting his exploding bolts things.
Oriana! Open the cage! Release the beast! Give me what
Release the beast.
I think not. I expected so much more. Since you are too weak to do the job, I'll find someone who can. Goodbye.
you manipulative whore! How dare you abandon me? After all
Like, this storytelling's not bad. You know, he's having a conversation with his wife or whatever while we're fighting. This is pretty good storytelling. Even if it's kind of rude, calling her a manipulative whore and her saying she won't help him and stuff. Not a great relationship. The story I get from that, maybe they don't have the best marriage. I think maybe their marriage might be in jeopardy, chat.
As swift as death, and imbued by the moon, cursed or gifted, branded and afflicted. Your veins soon chilled. Agna shall slay again. Desolation. I will take out your heart and savor each bite. Requiem on high.
Ah. I don't know if I actually dodged that.
Breathing gale. I smell your blood,
Really feels like my
and I am ravenous.
my minions aren't really doing anything. But I haven't invested points into them in my skill tree, so that's probably my fault.
Your pulse quickens.
They're kind of dead. Yeah, they are kind of dead.
The eternal impure, with bloodlust empowered. Our Esamir endured, but soon all
The hell's Ezomir? Just making up words, bro? Well, got hit by that.
then hour by hour, men fell as summer soured. I smell your blood, and I am ravenous.
Good dodge, bro. Nice. GG. First try. Oh, the minions at least take some aggro. True. And that's kind of why I'm keeping them around. Although, once I swap out my weapon to a dagger that doesn't have spirit on it, I probably won't have these warrior ones.
Consumed my being. Oriana,
The Count has a foul mouth. Wash it with soap. Yes.
Where has she taken the beast?
I found messages from the desert.
From the Vastiri.
That's duty.
Yes. Find her.
I love the voicing of the hooded one.
But first, please, stop the madness.
As you wish. We must
And loot explosion.
let us return to Clearfell to make our preparations.
Turn to Clearfell. Alright. Well, at least you don't have to, you know, hang out with an ungrateful wife anymore. Mr. Insane, corrupted wolf guy. Alright, let's sell our stuff, and I think I'm going to call it a day there. The long map grind wore me out today, especially with how it ended. But when I play this again, I'll probably be working on this character. I'm going to try to plan out my build better so that I know how things are going to scale.
This hooded one account, we can find
And maybe I can do some research to see if
You've done well. The dark good luck.
mana stacking Archmage lightning damage scaling will work with this build. See if I can figure if that will be a thing that will work.
Move swiftly.
is good to see you.
Let's see what we got here. Lightning and fire damage. This 91 energy shield. And life, no resistances. But way more energy shield. That's actually probably, excuse me, better, and I can use the whatchamacallits, the slots to put resist things in if I want. Let's go with that. Let's go with, where can I throw my junk? Right in here. Yeah. And let's toss this.
How's the clearing? Take a look. If you find a point out there,
Technically, Sin killed the wolf, so why would you get the loot? That's unfair. Technically, I did all the work. So, Sin technically came in and KS'd, so of course I ninja looted. You fought a guy for 20 minutes, somebody came in and did the kill shot, and then said, that's my loot. Not right. Pluck out his heart and some hunks of loot spurt out. That's right. My friends, it's been, what, 5 hours, 5.5 hours. I'm going to call it there. This game is super fun. The late game mapping feels not as rewarding as I'd like it to be. Hopefully, as we continue playing, if I can figure out a build that is actually close to the meta builds in strength so that I don't feel underpowered all the time, we can maybe make better progress on another character. But I hope you all had a good time today. This has been a super fun game. I'll think about tomorrow if I want to play some more of this, or if I want to do an FTL stream, since it's been a while since I've done an FTL stream, to actually have, you know, good amount of viewers. I'll see if I'm feeling healthy and salt relieved enough to do some FTL tomorrow. But as usual, my friends, you all are amazing. Thanks for all the support. Bits, follow, subs. Get the subs, lurking, hanging out. So anybody new to the stream, hit the follow, all that stuff. I will be back tomorrow is the plan. And I'll figure out what I'm going to be streaming. So, always a good time. Thanks, Madman, for keeping me company, even when we disagree about Path of Exile preferences. Ramsey's Pie Boy, Arbiter Dan. Anyone else hanging out? Hope you have a great rest of your night. Till next time, peace out, happy gaming. I'll see you all tomorrow or whenever. Y'all rock. Later, my friends.